అంతర్జాతీయ మహిళా దినోత్సవం 2023 ప్రత్యేక కార్యక్రమానికి స్వాగతం. ఈ సంవత్సరం థీమ్ డిజిటల్ ఇన్నోవేషన్ అండ్ టెక్నాలజీ ఫర్ జెండర్ ఈక్వాలిటీ. అంటే ఆవిష్కరణ, సాంకేతిక పరిజ్ఞానంతో కూడిన స్త్రీ పురుష సమానత్వం అని చెప్పొచ్చు. భారతదేశంలో 3 ముఖ్యమైన నేవీ కమాండ్ సెంటర్లు ఉన్నాయి. విశాఖపట్నంలోని తూర్పు నావికాదళం కమాండ్ హెడ్ క్వార్టర్స్ అందులో ఒకటి. బంగాళాఖాతం సముద్ర ప్రాంతంలోని అన్ని నావికా దళాలు, హిందూ మహాసముద్రంలోని కొన్ని భాగాలు మరియు తూర్పు తీరంలో ఉన్న నౌకాదళ సంస్థల పర్యవేక్షణ బాధ్యతను ముఖ్య విభాగాల్లో మహిళలకు చోటు కల్పించడం జరుగుతోంది. ఎయిర్ ట్రాఫిక్ కంట్రోలర్స్, నేవల్ పైలట్స్, వార్షిప్స్లో లాజిస్టిక్ ఆఫీసర్, హల్ మెయింటెనెన్స్ ఆఫీసర్ ఇలా వివిధ విభాగాల్లో మహిళలు విధులు నిర్వహిస్తూ తాము ఎవ్వరికీ తీసిపోమని నిరూపిస్తున్నారు. అంతర్జాతీయ మహిళా దినోత్సవం సందర్భంగా మనం తూర్పు నావికాదళం వివిధ విభాగాల్లో పనిచేస్తున్న మహిళా అధికారులతో మాట్లాడదాం. విశాఖపట్నం విమానాశ్రయం నావికాదళం ఆధ్వర్యంలో పనిచేస్తోంది. విమానాల రాకపోకలు, నియంత్రణ అంతా నేవీ ఆధ్వర్యంలోనే జరుగుతుంది. ఎయిర్ ట్రాఫిక్ కంట్రోల్ టవర్ బాధ్యత కూడా నేవీనే చూసుకుంటుంది. ఎయిర్ ట్రాఫిక్ కంట్రోలర్ పదవి బాధ్యతతో కూడుకున్న ముఖ్యమైన పదవి. విమానాల రాకపోకల నియంత్రణ, విమానాల భద్రత, ప్రయాణికుల భద్రత, రన్వే నియంత్రణ, నిర్వహణ లాంటి కష్టతరమైన అనేక విషయాలు వీరు సమర్థవంతంగా నిర్వహించాలి. ఈ విభాగంలో విధులు నిర్వహిస్తున్న లెఫ్టినెంట్ పరిషా సంతోషి ద్వారా మరిన్ని విషయాలు తెలుసుకుందా.
I am Lieutenant Parisha Santoshi, presently posted as an air traffic controller at INS Day-2023. Since the age of 6, I have been raised by a very strong woman, my mother, along with my 2 elder sisters. Since childhood, we have been raised together in a family of 4, the 3 strong women. In the absence of my father, whom we lost in a car accident in 2003, things have been a bit difficult, but we persevered. My mother has been a role model and a constant motivation for me. She has been the true definition of perseverance, as she worked in various sectors to ensure that her daughters get the best of their education and be in the best of the fields in their career. 15 years later, I joined the Indian Naval Academy in the year of 2018. Ever since, I have got the best of the opportunities to improve my professional skills and ensure my personal growth. My sports background, with me playing my first national tournament in skating at the age of 10, helped me overcome the physical challenges at the academy. However, the rigorous training at the academy helped me get trained mentally. As an air traffic controller, we are sitting at a chair which is very stressful. My challenge is very dynamic and requires a good level of mental health. The situation here as air traffic controller is very dynamic and requires efficient and quick thinking capabilities and take decision in a very timely manner to ensure the safety of the aircraft and the personnel inside them. I started my journey as an air traffic controller in the Indian Navy. Being posted at INS Day-2023, which is a joint user aerodrome, we get the opportunity to control various types of aircraft. My controlling capabilities are not limited to just Airbus or Boeing. We control various types of aircrafts, being fighter aircraft, Chetak, Dorniers, Boeing, ATRs, and even the unmanned surveillance drones. This is a 24/7 user aerodrome wherein we provide 24/7 air traffic services to various types of aircraft. It's a joint user aerodrome. We have 2 runways, main runway being of a length of 10,000 feet and the secondary runway of 6,000 feet. We have simultaneous operations of all military and civil aircraft. We are responsible for providing a safe and expeditious flow of all air traffic. So the safety of the aircraft, the passengers and even the crew is in our hand. We are the mighty controllers. We control all the traffic from one central unit, which is the ATC tower. all the traffic or any type of aircraft which is transiting through the Vizag airfield, till the limit of 15,000 feet, the entire safety of the aircraft is in our hand. We are a set of 2 controllers in every watch, that is the airdrome controller and the approach controller. My jurisdiction as an air traffic controller is till 15,000 feet within a nautical mile of 50 nautical miles. We, the air traffic controllers, are responsible for even the smallest movement of the vehicle or aircraft on the runway. We ensure safety at all points of time. My sailors here help me to ensure that there is no bird or any animal or anything which is not supposed to be on the runway at any time during the flying operations. The safety where the aircraft is landing on the runway is entirely in the hands of the air traffic controllers, which makes our task very dynamic and also very challenging. Presently being posted at Vizag, we have hells around all 3 sides of the runway, which makes it very peculiar and very important for us to ensure the safety of the aircraft at all moments. We have a unidirectional runway wherein the landing is from one side and even the departure is on the same side, which helps us to make it even more challenging and thus gives a different level of satisfaction when we are controlling this aircraft and when we are ensuring that all the aircraft are landing safely in our particular watch. Being an air traffic controller, we have a watch system. We follow watch roster to give 24/7 services to various civil and military aircraft. In my one particular watch, we have almost around 25 sailors, which help me to build a cordial relation irrespective of the gender, and we work together towards ensuring the safety and efficient flying of all the aircraft from this particular air station. So sharing one of the experience, while being posted at a forward operating base, Air Force Station Nalya, I got the opportunity to go on a maiden RPA detachment to Air Force Station Nalya. During that, the entire detachment had all male aircrew, technical officers and sailors. That particular detachment made me realize that we have come a long way towards meeting the gender equality, and yet there is a long path yet to be traveled. That detachment taught me that we are working shoulder to shoulder with our male counterparts, and we are together in this service to provide safe and efficient working environment. With the introduction and implementation of the new scheme by Government of India, that is the Agnipath scheme, I got the opportunity to be part of the Agnipath recruitment team. I was responsible for conducting the physical fitness test of various candidates. Seeing the preparedness of these candidates, I realized the youth is highly motivated and are filled with full enthusiasm to join the armed forces. With this, I motivate all the young girls out there to join the Indian Armed Forces through various schemes which are given by the Indian Navy. Contributing and leading towards gender equality, we as air traffic control officers are now getting posted on board the mighty aircraft carrier INS Vikramaditya and the indigenously built INS Vikrant. So my goal and my next stop is to get posted at the aircraft carrier, either Vikramaditya or INS Vikrant, and control the fighters from the afloat units, thus contributing towards safe flying operations and working shoulder to shoulder with my male counterparts.
ప్రతి విమానాశ్రయంలో ఖచ్చితంగా ఉండే మరో కార్యాలయం వాతావరణ శాఖ కార్యాలయం. విమానాల రాకపోకలకు సంబంధించి ఖచ్చితమైన వాతావరణ నివేదికను తయారు చేయడం వీటి ప్రధాన కర్తవ్యం. ఈ కార్యాలయం కూడా నేవీ ఆధ్వర్యంలోనే పనిచేస్తుంది. పైలట్లకు అవసరమైన అనేక వాతావరణ నివేదికలు వీరు అందజేస్తారు. తద్వారా విమానాల రాకపోకలకు సంబంధించి పైలట్లు తగిన ప్రణాళికలు రూపొందించుకుంటారు. విశాఖ విమానాశ్రయంలో ఉన్న నావికాదళ వాతావరణ శాఖ కార్యాలయంలో పనిచేస్తున్న లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ నిషా రావత్ ద్వారా మరిన్ని విశేషాలు తెలుసుకుందాం.
I am Lieutenant Commander Nisha, appointed as Met Officer in the Air Station INS Dega. I belong to Dehradun, and as I am a Pahadi, everybody expect me to be physically fit. I have done my Masters in Science from Dehradun, Garhwal University. My family consists my mother and 3 siblings. My father served as Sub-Inspector in paramilitary. Unfortunately, I lost him in a car accident when I was 16 years old. My mother is a strong lady who raised all four of us single-handedly. My husband is a scientist in India Meteorological Department. I have a son who is 3 years old now. As a mother, I must balance the parenting and family life with the stringent requirement of Indian Armed Forces. But at the end, the sense of purpose and fulfillment that comes from serving my country makes it all worthwhile. I have completed 11 years of service in Indian Navy, and as an education officer, I got the opportunity to train the young cadet at Indian Naval Academy. There, now I am very happy to see that the Navy or the Armed Forces had started the induction of women candidate in National Defence Academy. After gaining experience as an education officer, I got the opportunity to undergo advanced med course, where I also got the postgraduate degree in applied meteorology. It has been a fantastic journey altogether, filled with adventure, discipline and pride. It allowed me to serve my country while also pushing myself to my limits. Navy has transformed me into a strong, resilient and patriotic individual through rigorous training, teamwork and leadership. On personal front, Navy has given me ample of opportunity to participate in various sports like Enterprise Class Sailing Championships conducted by Indian Navy. I trekked Pindari Glacier Trek in Uttarakhand in 2016, and I am very fortunate to be a part of all-women contingent at RD Parade in 2015. I have also commanded the platoon for Independence Day flying hosting ceremony at Amar Jawan Jyoti in 2018. Navy offers a diverse range of roles that challenge and develop individual in numerous ways. In addition to the technical and operational position, Navy also provide opportunities for individual to develop their leadership skills and engage in research and development and pursue higher education. Overall, a career in Indian Navy can offer individual a one-of-a-kind and rewarding experience while serving the country. There were primarily two reasons why I joined Indian Navy. First, being I have the strong affinity towards uniform, because as a child I used to see my father getting dressed up in khaki uniform every morning. And then as I grow older, I was an NCC cadet, which gave me the exposure to the armed forces, and it actually gave me the firmness to my dreams of joining Indian Navy. Second reason, of course, I wanted a financial security because my mother was the sole bread earner of the family. Being the second in command in the Met department, I am in charge of training newly joined Met sailors and officers. As a Met officer, I am also responsible to provide accurate weather forecast for all the military flying operations, as well as the civil operations. I am trained to analyze weather data and provide accurate weather forecast for all the military flying operations undertaken by the air station. These Met input impact significant on all military operations and flying operations such as search and rescue, disaster response, etc. We use variety of technologies such as satellite, radar and simulator based weather models, which helps for the better prediction of weather. As a Met officer, we are trained to work under pressure during inclement weathers like severe thunderstorm and cyclones to provide better information in real time.
ఒకప్పుడు మహిళలు విమానాలు నడపడం గురించి అనేక సందేహాలు ఉండేవి. కేవలం మగవారు మాత్రమే నిర్వహించగలరు అనే నమ్మకం. కాలం మారింది. మహిళలు కూడా అనేక రంగాల్లో పురుషులతో సమానంగా విధులు నిర్వహిస్తున్నారు. అందుకు విమానాలు నడపడం కూడా మినహాయింపు కాదు. ఏవియేషన్ సెక్టర్లో మహిళలు కూడా ప్రధాన పాత్ర పోషిస్తున్నారు. సివిల్ ఏవియేషన్ అయినా, డిఫెన్స్ ఏవియేషన్ అయినా మహిళలను అధిక సంఖ్యలో పైలట్లుగా చూస్తున్నాం. లెఫ్టినెంట్ దివ్య శర్మ డార్నియర్ నిఘా విమానంలో విధులు నిర్వహిస్తుంటారు. తన పైలట్ ప్రయాణం గురించి ఆమె మాటల్లోనే తెలుసుకుందాం.
Women have been in the Indian Navy since the year 1992. Initially, they were inducted in the education and medical branch, and thereafter logistics and law came forward. However, new avenues have recently opened up, and in the year 2016, Indian Navy gave an opportunity to women to join the Navy as pilots. And I, Lieutenant Divya Sharma, am one of the fortunate ones who joined the Indian Navy as one of the first women aviators. I've been born and raised in New Delhi. I'm an alumnus of St. Anthony's School, Horse Cars, and thereafter my education was BTech in IT department from Lingias University, Faridabad. My father is working as CIO of Accord Hospitals, and my mother is operations manager at Health Square Diagnostic Center. My brother is working as business analyst at Capgemini, and I'm married to Lieutenant Commander Pratham, who's a naval architect officer. After my graduation in 2016, I worked in the corporate for nearly 2 years. However, from a very young age, I had this desire to, don the uniform. It gives you a lot of strength, the sight of respect, and that is something that, you will always look at the people with uniform with the head high. So, I appeared for the Service Selection Board, and in 2018, I cleared it. I made it through Indian Naval Academy, first 6 months of initial training, thereafter 3 stages of flying training. My first stage of flying was at Air Force Academy, Hyderabad, went very well. Thereafter we went to stage 2 and stage 3 of flying. Stage 2 was again with the Air Force, and stage 3 was at Garuda. So at Garuda, I got the best in flying in my course. This is one of my very big achievements that I should call, because a group of around 6 people, out of which 3 were my male counterparts, 3 women officers, and I became the best in flying. A lot of confidence, and that gave me my first appointment as staff pilot at 311 Air Squadron, which is in Vizag. You call it as Air Station Dega, INS, that is Indian Naval Air Squadron 311. In those 2 years where after my college graduation, I was sitting at home and I was preparing, I wanted to join the civil services, or I wanted to, as I told you, I wanted to don the uniform. So either of the uniforms were my aim. And while I was preparing, it was, the amount of studies that you have to do. You have to sit up here with so many people and you have to make it through. Then somebody guided me that, okay, you should not just focus on civil services. There's another opportunity, that is our military services, Army, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. You should go and try for that. And I went through that. And my entry, I have appeared for technical entry, I have appeared for Air Force, I have appeared for pilot entry in the Navy. So when pilot entry in the Navy came through, when I went for the SSB, I had around 200, 300 other, women cadets there appearing for the SSB, same dream in their eyes. And that day, I thought to myself that will I be able to, go through it? Do I have the confidence? Will I be able to, be that one particular woman throughout the entire India in that batch, to make through that batch? We had only 2 vacancies, by the way. So it was me and my another counterpart, Lieutenant Shivangi. We both made through that SSB amongst those 300 women who were there. And we were the only 2 in that batch. So before us, there was 1, then 2 of us, and then later on, after around 1.5 years, another 1 came. So we are the only limited women aviators whom you see right now in the Indian Navy. So the training in the academy, you can actually bifurcate or trifurcate it into academics, your physical fitness, drill comm, and when you compare it with the male counterparts, there was no difference. So it actually scared me initially. Will I be able to run that much? Will I be, studies and all, we've been studying throughout our lives. Our parents have been telling us you have to study till here, till here, till here. Forges also studies, by the way. So we completed our studies very well. Then we went for physical fitness. Every morning we had PT, male counterparts, female counterparts. Everybody had to do the same training, swimming test, same jump for, same height for jumping. There was no literal difference. After that, stage 1 of flying also, stage 1 of ab initio training at Indian Naval Academy, when we went for flying training again, that machine will never know whether a woman is manning it or a man is manning it or who is manning it. So this depends on your skills, how much you know, what is your knowledge, and how efficiently you can handle that machine. There is no difference on who is sitting in the cockpit, who is operating the radar, who is manning the controlling station, or who is giving the met reports, who's steering the ship, for God's sake. Anybody can, the person who's good at that job should be allowed to do that job. And this is when we say gender equality, gender neutrality. We are not focusing on, it's a fight, we have to go fight with people, you should have that much of standards. No, it is as simple as that. This is my work. I am good at it. It does not matter if I'm a Ravi or I'm a Rima. All it matters is, can you do it? If you can do it, then you should be there. I'm a maritime reconnaissance pilot posted in Indian Naval Air Squadron 311, Visakhapatnam. As a maritime reconnaissance pilot, we undertake numerous missions which involve coastal security, combat free fall, thereafter coastal surveillance. We have missions like casualty evacuation, medical evacuation, and numerous other missions. Now the thing here to note is that we have a coastline of more than 7,500 kilometers, and it is our duty to ensure the safety and security of our waters. Well, the factor of being a woman, the horizon is, seeing new, wider limits. Earlier it was only short service commission for women officers. Now permanent commission is also available, and recently in the year 2020 nearly 40 women officers got permanent commission. This is a very empowering step. Nari Shakti is a very popular slogan in India. What do we mean by Nari Shakti? It has taken the efforts and achievements of so many women, to celebrate this day, to come up and to motivate everybody out there that if we can do it, even you can do it. If we can achieve the little, happiness in life, the success that we are attaining in life, even you can do it. Always realize that your limits are only defined by you and not by anybody else.
ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్కు సుమారు 975 కిలోమీటర్ల సముద్ర తీరం ఉంది. సముద్ర తీర రక్షణ బాధ్యతను మన విశాఖ నావికా దళం సమర్థవంతంగా నిర్వహిస్తోంది. తీర ప్రాంత గస్తీ విభాగంలో మహిళా పైలట్లు తమ విధులను సమర్థవంతంగా నిర్వహిస్తున్నారు. తీర రక్షణతో పాటు వీరు విపత్తు నిర్వహణలో కూడా పాలు పంచుకుంటారు. తప్పిపోయిన ఓడలను, పడవలను వెతకడంలో కూడా సాయపడుతుంటారు. ఇలా అనేక విషయాల్లో వీరి పాత్ర శ్లాఘనీయం. లెఫ్టినెంట్ స్వాతి హెచ్ ముతాలిక్ డార్నియర్ విమానంలో ఎటువంటి విధులు నిర్వహిస్తున్నారో తెలుసుకుందామా?
I'm Lieutenant Swati, a Naval Air Operations Officer posted at Indian Naval Air Squadron 311, INS Day-2023-NariShakti-Eastern Naval. I belong to Bangalore and I've completed my schooling from Bishop Cotton Girls School. Thereafter, I have a degree in Bachelor of Engineering in Electronics and Communication from RV College of Engineering. My parents are retired government employees. My father retired from Canara Bank and my mother retired from BSNL. I have an elder brother who works as a senior manager at a corporate company called Whatfix in Bangalore. On completing my graduation, I worked for 11 months at a corporate company and I realized that I was not very satisfied with that job. So when you see an aircraft flying, it looks so fascinating that you are able to be up in the sky and you forget all your worries. So that time I have a cousin who is in the Navy. He gave me the idea of trying something like this. But there are various branches again that are available at the Navy, like education, logistics, medical, etc., etc. So I decided that I would go for the Naval Air Operations cadre of the Indian Navy. So once I decided that I wanted to join the Navy, I cleared my SSB in the month of January 2018. Thereafter joined the Indian Naval Academy in the month of June 2018, where we underwent a rigorous training of 6 months along with our male counterparts. We have been trained physically, mentally and academically from all three spheres, and there was no differentiation in the training that was undertaken between us and the male counterparts. We undergo the same training process, the same assessment process. So on completion of academy, we then moved on to 6 months of sub-courses, as we call it, where we visit the various schools of the Indian Navy to learn about the different branches of the Navy and the different duties that they do. So once I completed that, I underwent 8 months of extensive training of my cadre, where I undertook role specific training of a Naval Air Operations Officer at the Naval Air Operations Officer School, Kochi, and thereafter I have been here in INAS 311 for the last 3 years. So in the recent years, women have been taking significant strides in various fields to break down these gender barriers, and one such field is the armed forces. So of late we can see that there are multiple women who are being inducted in combat roles and in leadership position. So this is an achievement in terms of achieving gender equality in this country. So in the year 2020 December, 40 women officers of the Indian Navy were awarded with permanent commission for the first time, and this is a recognition of their contribution to the country and to the Indian Navy, and an award for their contribution. So the Navy is the only force which operates in all three dimensions, be it in the air, on the surface or underwater. So Indian Navy scripted history in November 2009 when they enlisted 2 women officers in combat role for the first time as then observers and now Naval Air Operations Officer. So I am a Naval Air Operations Officer on the Dornier aircraft. So my primary role in this aircraft is that we undertake missions such as maritime reconnaissance, coastal surveillance, where at this station we protect the coast starting from West Bengal to say Tamil Nadu coast, and then we undertake additional tasking such as we support our fleet and our command in any tasking that they give us. We operate with the various ships of the Indian Navy, and in addition we also undertake search and rescue operations where we get input such as, there is a boat missing, so we go to that position, search for the survivor, and then we provide assistance by providing a life raft to the survivor. In addition, we also undertake something called the combat free fall, where the marine commandos of the Indian Navy undertake para jumps from this aircraft, and we also undertake something called casualty evacuation and medical evacuation. Last year, government took a revolutionary step in inducting women in roles apart from the officer position, where they are now being inducted as in the Agniveer scheme of the Indian Navy, where women can apply for various branches as Agniveer, as an Agniveer.
ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి ఒక కుటుంబ నేపథ్యం ఉంటుంది. చిన్నతనంలోనే కొన్ని విషయాల పట్ల మనకి ఆసక్తి కలుగుతుంది. ఆ పనిని సాధించడం కోసం కష్టపడతాం, సాధిస్తాం, ఆస్వాదిస్తాం. ఐఎన్ఎస్ డేగాలో లాజిస్టిక్ ఆఫీసర్గా పనిచేస్తున్న లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ శివాని చౌహాన్ సక్సెస్ స్టోరీ అందరికీ ఒక స్ఫూర్తిని ఇస్తుందనడంలో ఎటువంటి సందేహం లేదు. లెట్ us టాక్ టు లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ శివాని చౌహాన్.
Jai Hind. My name is Lieutenant Commander Shivani Chauhan, and I am the logistics officer of this air station. This air station is the biggest on the eastern seaboard. Talking about my background, I belong to a purely civil background. My father is a service person and my mother is a homemaker. So you can say I am the first generation service personnel defense officer in my entire relatives, family, friends. So this has been a very new phase of life for me. When I was young, I always used to watch Republic Day parade, and that used to be my inspiration. I used to watch the people marching there, and that used to be my dream, someday to be the part of that service, that extreme service, to don that uniform and join the civil forces. And today, here I am in front of you, wearing this uniform and serving the nation with pride, honor and dignity. I basically belong from Uttar Pradesh. My father is a farmer's son, so he started from scratch. He built his own service, and we were moving from place to place. So I was never settled in one place. So that's how, I learned to be adjustable anywhere and in any culture. I have completed my education from various backgrounds, starting from Kota to Faridabad and then to Greater Noida. And there I have completed my BTech Computer Science. And there only I got to know that there is an opening for BTech Computer Science students, which is known as UES entry scheme, University Entry Scheme. So the defense people come there, they take your interview, they qualify you, they judge you whether you are good enough for them. So they judge you as per your qualification, your intellect. And there I got selected for Army as well as Naval SSB Center. So I am a BTech qualified computer science engineer. My SSB center was SSB 30 in Bhopal. That was totally new for me. I didn't have any idea what is an SSB. I hardly knew the full form of SSB that time, but it was destiny, or I just got lucky enough to be the part of the service. I worked hard after service, and when I joined Indian Naval Academy, that was I would say another world which I have never imagined, because I don't have any service background. So the training part was entirely different. What we look in the movie is a different part, and what we have gone through is a totally different experience. So there was no difference between the training of men and women there. I joined Indian Naval Academy in year 2011 post completion of my graduation. The Indian Naval Academy is totally a different world. It is different from the world what I was living in till then, and the world which I have joined. There have been phases where you think, you know, why I have joined this, but then there have been the phases where it's like, yes, I can do it and I am meant for it, because you know where you have to reach. You have to serve the country, and for that it is necessary that you are mentally and physically strong. The training which is being imparted to the male counterparts as well as the female counterparts, there is no much difference. It is the same drill, it is the same practices, the same running efforts unit, because when you have to serve the country, you have to be equal, and the same part is being taught to us in Indian Naval Academy, and that's how we are the officers. We are standing in front of you, tough, rigid, strong, mentally and physically both. I started as a logistics officer in the Indian Naval. The logistics cadre is to provide operational, logistics and administrative support. As the logistics officer of this air station, my job is to look after the operational administrative requirement of these aircrafts. So here in INS Dega, we have 7 types of aircrafts. So we provide their all operational logistics requirements, their spare procurement, preservation, so that these machines are operational. They go flying safe and they land back safely, and they are always ready to take on any call of duty at any point of time. And at the same time, being part of logistics is the administrative issue, to look after the admin requirements of the flying crew, starting from their specialized flying clothing, with their pay and allowances, their ration, their diet, everything, so that these pilots are free from all their mental tensions. They fly safely and they come back safely, which gives me a sense of immense satisfaction. Me as a woman officer, it is an immense, it is an immense pleasure for me. It is an immense honor for me to work with my counterpart, to support them, to work shoulder to shoulder with them. There is no discrimination between what I am doing and what another male officer in this unit or in this service is doing. We are working, we are sharing equal responsibility, equal load with each other. As women officer, I am really honored and proud to be the part of this esteemed service, and equally honored and proud are my parents that their daughter is a serving naval officer. And I want to use this opportunity and this platform to give my message to all the young ladies out here that this service is waiting for you. Please join Indian Navy. Now the Navy is open for the women in officer cadre as well as in sailors cadre. The Indian Navy has now opened the platform not for officers, which is already there, but now for the women Agniveers. The Indian Navy welcome you all to join us and serve the country with pride, honor and esteemed dignity. And at last, I wish all the women out there International Women's Day. Thank you. Jai Hind.
సర్వీసెస్లో లాజిస్టిక్స్ సపోర్ట్ అనేది చాలా ముఖ్యమైన విభాగం. ఈ విభాగం అందించే సహాయ సహకారాలు మిగిలిన విభాగాలకు చాలా ముఖ్యం. అటువంటి విభాగంలో పనిచేయాలంటే శారీరక, మానసిక దృఢత్వం చాలా అవసరం. ముఖ్యమైన నిర్ణయాలు తక్కువ సమయంలో తీసుకోగలగడం, వివిధ విభాగాలతో సమన్వయం చాలా ముఖ్యం. ఇండియన్ నేవీలో అటువంటి ముఖ్యమైన విభాగానికి అధిపతిగా సమర్థవంతంగా పనిచేస్తున్నారు లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ ఆశా శర్మ. ఈమెకు తన తండ్రి గారే స్ఫూర్తి.
I, Lieutenant Commander Asha Sharma, belongs to Meerut, Uttar Pradesh. I have done my schooling from Kendriya Vidyalaya and my college from CCS University, Meerut. I belongs to service background as my father has also served in Indian Army. So I have been allied with forces culture since my childhood. I was commissioned in Indian Navy in Jan 2010. Women officers in Indian Navy are being inducted through SSC scheme. In Indian Navy presently inducting women officers in 12 branches with logistics, law, naval architecture, IT, medicals, etc. After induction, women officers are supposed to undergo the ab initio training at INA Edimala. There lot of physical and mental activities are required and lot of challenges that we have to be prepared for. In my batch 36 women trainees were there and we of different cadre, and we all had successfully completed our ab initio training in a most successful manner. Now Indian Navy has also started employing women officers to their frontline ships. And as a result, I have been appointed as a logistic officer of INS Shakti, which is a tanker ship of Eastern Command based at Visakhapatnam. As logistics officer of the ship, I am responsible for overall financial management of the funds, procurement and provisioning of the stores and spares required for maintenance of fittings and machinery of the ship, or any procurement and provisioning of the critical spares and provisioning of the ration also. And before any deployment, we are supposed to carry a minimum stock level. I am also responsible to ensure availability of sufficient stock of ration and its preservation in proper method. We follow first in first out method, so that the stock which has been received first can be taken out first, and the stock which has been received in the later date can be used later. So in this method we are able to preserve the ration for the longer duration. For any deployment directed in a short span of time, we are supposed to embark sufficient stock of ration and spares, critical spares and other stores, so that we can sustain for the longer duration at sea. This activity require lot of foresight ability, so that proper calculations and everything can be done. The ship has been entrusted with the role of fleet support ship also, wherein we are supposed to carry extra ration and stores and fuel for the other ships, and we are supposed to carry out their transfer at sea also, and distribution and the transfer at sea also. One of my key role is timely preparation of healthy and nutritious food at galley. Maintaining the kitchen of this ship, which is called as ship's galley, where we are making food for approximately 250 persons on daily basis to provide nutritious, healthy and delicious food to the ship's company at sea as well as in harbour. Women Agniveers has also been inducted in 29 trades of the Indian Navy, which includes sea-going trades also. Presently, they are undergoing initial training at INS Chilka, and shortly they will be joining the frontline ships. Necessary modifications are being carried out on board ship for accommodating women Agniveers and logistic officers comfortably.
ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ కాకినాడకు చెందిన లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ సంజన ఇండియన్ నేవీలో నేవల్ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్గా పనిచేస్తున్నారు. ఈమె తండ్రి గారు కూడా నేవీలో పనిచేశారు. ఆ విధంగా ఆమెకి నేవీ పట్ల ఆసక్తి కలిగింది. అలాగే ఈమె తల్లిగారు అన్ని విధాలా ఆమెని ప్రోత్సహించారు. తల్లిదండ్రుల ప్రోత్సాహంతో ఈరోజు ఆమె నేవల్ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్గా ఒక బాధ్యతాయుతమైన విధిని ఫ్రంట్ లైన్ వార్షిప్స్లో నిర్వహిస్తున్నారు. ఆసక్తి, ప్రోత్సాహంతో జీవితంలో అనుకున్నది సాధించొచ్చు అనడానికి లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ సంజన ఒక మంచి ఉదాహరణ.
హాయ్, నేను లెఫ్టినెంట్ కమాండర్ కేఎస్ సంజన. ఇండియన్ నేవీలో నేవల్ ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ బ్రాంచ్లో పనిచేస్తున్నాను. ప్రస్తుతం ఐఎన్ఎస్ శక్తి మీద నేవల్ ఆర్కిటెక్ట్ ఆఫీసర్గా పోస్ట్ అయి ఉన్నాను. నా బీటెక్ జేఎన్టీయూకే కాకినాడలో మెకానికల్ ఇంజనీరింగ్ బ్రాంచ్లో చేశాను. అండ్ జాయిన్ ద ఇండియన్ నేవీ ఇమీడియట్లీ ఆఫ్టర్ ఐ ఫినిష్డ్ మై బీటెక్ in 2016. I've been put up in service for the last 6.5 years. My father has also been in the Indian Navy and he has retired as commander in 2004, and that's where I got the initial flavor of Indian Navy or the forces. My mother is a homemaker and she is my main pillar of strength and motivation for facing various challenges that are coming my way. I've also been an NCC cadet, and that's where I got the bearing that is required for the forces. I've been inducted into the Indian Navy in 2016, where I have undergone the initial phase of training for 6 months in Indian Naval Academy, Erimala, Kerala. And the training phase has been a very dynamic aspect for me in my life, where we undergo various tremendous amount of training phase, be it mental or physical. The training in the Indian Naval Academy is a mix of various kinds of activities like camps, physical endurance training, academics, swimming, etc. After finishing our initial phase of training, then we have our sub courses, and then we are posted in various units or vessels. I come from a family where usually the men have upper hand, just like many of the families in India. But however, I have been fortunate because my parents have never made me feel that I am any less and I am at par with the men in the family or outside in the society. In order to achieve gender equality, it is very important for us women to feel that we have the strength and the willpower to do anything in life. Now coming to my work, what I do on board, I am a naval architect officer on board INS Shakti, and the charter of duties that I hold are ensuring and overseeing the maintenance of the ship, its structure, and also undertaking the maintenance and preservation of various deck machineries on board. Prior to coming on board INS Shakti, I have been posted in Port Blair, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, where my primary duty was to undertake the maintenance of the ships which come under refits, and also I've been appointed as the dock master of Floating Dock Navy, which is also called as FDN1, and it's been the first time that a lady officer has been posted on board a floating dock. In my tenure as a dock master, I have docked multiple vessels in a span of 3 months, and this is as a certified dock master. Over a period of my tenure in Navy, I've come across superior officers who have made me feel that I'm no less than the men around. And according to me, this is very important in a working space. Under me, I have 8 able hull artificers. The department looks after various deck machineries, which include the davits which are used for lowering of boats into the sea. What we do is, the ship, which is made of metal, we ensure that the preservation of the structure is all time maintained by undertaking painting activities and other maintenance activities. Another main role that a naval architect officer does on board is ensuring the stability of the ship, be it at harbour or at sea, where the sea may be calm or can be rough when we go for sailing. I must add that the government has also opened up major avenues for the women officers in the armed forces, like provost, air operations, the Agnipat scheme that has been opened up for the women Agniveers, which is a major breakthrough in the armed forces. The message I would like to convey to the aspirants who are willing to join as the Indian Navy in the officer cadre or the sailor cadre, there is a huge opportunity for everyone to prove themselves. Being the young blood, you people will be the backbone.
Jai Hind. Happy International Women's Day.
కష్టే ఫలి అంటారు. కష్టపడకుండా మంచి ఫలితం రాదు. ఇండియన్ నేవీలో ఉద్యోగం సాధించడమే కాదు, అందరి మన్ననలు పొందుతూ కొత్త తరాలకి స్ఫూర్తిదాయకంగా ఉద్యోగ బాధ్యతలు నిర్వర్తిస్తున్న నావికాదళ మహిళా అధికారులందరికీ మరోసారి శుభాకాంక్షలు. మరో కార్యక్రమంలో మళ్ళీ కలుద్దాం. అంతవరకు సెలవు. నమస్కారం.
అటెన్షన్! ఇకపై ఏ చట్టము ఏర్పడదో, ఏ రెవల్యూషన్ జరగదో. ఒకవేళ ఈ ఇండియన్స్ ని మనం ఇలాగే హ్యూమిలేట్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే అప్పుడు వాళ్ళ నుంచి ఎవరు కూడా కంపెనీకి అగేన్స్ట్ గా నోరు తెరవడానికి భయపడతారు.
ఒకవేళ మేము ఎదురు తిరిగామంటే వీళ్ళు ఒక్కరోజు కూడా పరిపాలించలేరు.
ద్రోహం చేస్తే ఏం జరుగుతుందో మీకు బాగా తెలుసు కదా.
శాంతంగా ఉండడానికి సమయం కాదు, దేశమంతా అట్టుడుకుతోంది. మీరు ఉద్యమించండి.